Hello and welcome to NewFilmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo and we're here at the Cambridge Los Angeles showroom in West Hollywood, and I'm here with Larry Ulrich with his movie, The Real Reality Report. Let's take a look at a clip.
Right now, my struggle is, to get off the streets. I'm currently homeless here and there. I hustle, do what I have to do as a young man to better myself.
He lived and died to buy my pardon, an empty grave.
Larry, it's amazing to have you here in the studio, and congratulations on your film. Tell us
Thank you.
A brief synopsis of The Real Reality Report.
Yeah, so The Real Reality highlights social justices, and we provide audiences practical tools to address them. So any type of social issues that are happening in disenfranchised communities, it's my job to go to those communities and just simply tell those people's stories.
Well, this particular episode that you shared with us was so incredibly inspiring, such a wonderful story. And I think what you're doing is so incredibly important to everybody, to us here in the United States, but globally to see as well. How did you come about the idea?
Well, I actually worked at a school called Crenshaw High School.
Mm-hmm.
And there I was a life skills director. And what I found out, well, the stereotype of Crenshaw is that these young people—
That's in Los Angeles.
It's in Los Angeles, in South Central.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just saying that the test scores were very low. But one thing that they left off, the statistic that they left off, was that 42% of those young people lived in foster care homes.
Wow.
So I said, how come people don't know about this? So I said, well, I'll be the one to tell the story.
Wow.
So I took a camera and I told the story, and I just put it on YouTube just to see what would happen.
Yeah.
And before I knew it, I had over 400,000 views.
That's
so
incredible.
I knew at that moment, this is what I'm here to do.
I mean, that's just so inspiring itself, and like you said, it's a story and a statistic that needs to be shared and people need to understand. Now, with this particular episode, you came across the amazing Terrell.
Mm-hmm.
How did you come about finding out about him?
Yeah, I work for a nonprofit called Coalition for Responsible Community Development, and we work with at-risk youth in disenfranchised communities. And he was one of the youth. And he would confide in me. He would come to my office all the time. And I didn't quite have an idea of what I wanted to shoot, but I thought about Terrell and I said, he would be perfect. And he wanted to do it. And I said, you know what? You're going to be my pilot episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was his reaction?
At first he wanted to do it, and we did have some challenges.
Mm-hmm.
The challenge was, I know it was 2 days prior he had backed off. And I was a little upset because I had already paid for the camera crew.
Right.
But I think the challenge was, I think as humans, we have to really deal with things internally.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't so much of him having the fear of being on camera.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually the fear of him going back in time, revisiting those hard times.
Yeah.
And I think to verbally say that for the world to hear is a lot to deal with. But once he realized that he released that energy, now he's free and open to receive what's meant for him.
I think that's amazing, and it's almost amazing what the moving image can do for you as a person as well. But I have so much admiration for him that he was able to share touching moment of his story. Like you say, go back in time. I mean, it takes an incredible person to share their story and their inner thoughts about that. Larry, I think what you're doing is truly beyond filmmaking. Is just so great that you're expressing this through filmmaking. How did it come about for you that you really wanted to sort of deliver this message? Originally you're from Texas. Was it something you influenced back home, or did you kind of feel like when you got to LA this was something you wanted to do?
Well, I'm from a small town called Lamarck, Texas, between Houston and Galveston. It's very small, but you hear about these issues, but you only see them on TV. But when I moved to Los Angeles and I experienced it firsthand, And I said, you know, we know about philanthropists,
Yeah.
but I always question what's the intention behind philanthropy. You know, is it public acknowledgement? What are you really doing it for? So it caused me to look within myself to see why am I really doing it. But after working at Crenshaw and working for other nonprofits and seeing the results of my work and seeing these young people just grow up to be what they want to be, and I had something to do with that, that's what inspired me to keep this show going.
No, it's amazing. What do you, I mean, I think, as I said to you last night at the screen, I feel this should be a series that I'm seeing every single week. So, you know, all the wonderful thing and the mentoring that you've done and achieved and working with these fantastic nonprofits and being a voice, how did that journey into filmmaking? Where was your journey as a director and a writer and a host as well?
Good. You know, I moved out here to be an actor. And I moved here 9 years ago. And the acting, you know, when I first came, I was acting pretty much every month, but then it stopped. And I always share this story. I fell on hard times. I was almost homeless. I was almost sleeping in my car. I was on food stamps. And I realized something had to give. So I had to work, but at that moment something snapped. And what snapped was, I no longer need these agents. I don't need these managers. I have everything. So you know what? I'm gonna create my own work. So I didn't lose the love of entertainment. I kept it from within, and I utilized my professional experience and combined it. So now no more dependent on other people to make my dream come true. That's my responsibility.
Oh my God, I love it. This is what I think the world needs to hear that too.
Yeah.
I mean, really, I think that's true. It's not an easy town to be in, is it? You know, it's you have to find your way, and you know, you're delivering fantastic work. What's it like to have your film selected for New Filmmakers Los Angeles?
That was a blessing in disguise. You know, prior to, I received 5 no's.
Wow.
I received 5 no's, but I always say there's an audience for everything, and you guys liked it. And if you're the only one that accepted, my job is complete.
Well, we loved it,
Yeah.
and so did our audience. I think it was a Q&A where it could have gone on for hours because people were just
that was
dying to
great.
ask questions. And because you're such an inspiring person and filmmaker, you know, you've been through a lot. What piece of advice would you give to any filmmaker that would like to be, you know, aspiring into your shoes one day? Do you have any piece of advice?
Absolutely. I would definitely say it's your dream and you make it happen. The days of depending on people to do something for you, those days are over, and your dream starts now. Just do it. And when the intention is correct, everything will come into place.
Larry, thank you very much.
Thank
I
you.
feel like I've been learning so much myself, and I feel, and I'm sure the crew as well feel completely inspired. Listen, we love your film. Congratulations,
Thank you.
and we're looking forward to seeing much more of your
All
work.
right, thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Larry. Thank you.